Welcome to Scripted by Machines, the channel where silicon and celluloid collide to resurrect the nightmares of old and new. Here, we unleash the legends of horror in a battleground forged by artificial intelligence. Each episode is a journey into What If, a showdown where iconic figures from the darkest corners of your favorite horror tales clash in epic duels. From the spectral halls of haunted mansions to the cursed grounds of abandoned campsites, no scenario is off-limits. Our tales adhere closely to the lore that birthed these legends, weaving narratives that honor their ghastly origins while charting new paths towards unforeseen confrontations. Prepare yourself for a collision of nightmares, where only one can claim the shadowed throne of terror. Stay tuned, as today's episode promises to be a chilling encounter between two titans of terror. In the annals of horror, few names evoke such dread as that of Jason Voorhees. Once a young boy who met a tragic fate at Camp Crystal Lake, he returned from the depths not as a victim, but as an avenger. Shrouded behind his hockey mask, Jason has become a legendary figure of unstoppable horror, his strength only matched by his brutal resolve. Haunted by his watery grave and driven by a mother's vengeful spirit, he walks the boundary between life and death, a revenant with a singular, chilling mission. In the shadowed streets of Haddonfield, another form of darkness prowls. Michael Myers, a name that whispers through the leaves like a chilling autumn breeze. Since that fateful Halloween night when young Michael donned a clown mask and changed forever, he has become the embodiment of pure evil. With his emotionless white mask and dark eyes, Michael embodies the silent, mysterious killer. His pursuits are murderous, his presence a harbinger of doom, his resilience nothing short of supernatural. Tonight, these two titans of terror, each a master of their craft, will meet where joy once reigned. The Whispering Pines amusement park will witness a clash that will echo through the annals of horror history. As the night deepens, so does the mystery of the Whispering Pines amusement park, a place where laughter once reigned, now silent and shrouded in dread. Drawn by whispers of a dark presence haunting this cursed ground, Jason Voorhees, the revenant of Crystal Lake, steps into the moonlit park. His mask, as emotionless as the chill night air, does little to hide his intrigue for the challenge that awaits, fueled by the distant screams carried on the wind. On this very night, another shadow moves with silent determination. Michael Myers, the specter of Haddonfield, is drawn here by the park's grim lore of Halloween tragedies. Sensing the presence of another like himself, Michael enters the fray, his eyes fixed, his intentions as dark as the void behind his mask. Two forces of relentless evil, each legendary in their own reign of terror, now converge under the haunting glow of the Halloween moon. What dark fate awaits in this clash of titans? As the silent sentinels of the night bear witness, the stage is set for a confrontation of legendary horrors. Near the skeletal remains of the Ferris wheel, a place echoing with the laughter of ghosts, two dark figures emerge from the shadows. Jason Voorhees, the revenant of Crystal Lake, arrives with the night's chill wrapped around him like a cloak. His eyes, unseen behind the mask, fixate on a form moving with equal intent through the darkness. Michael Myers, the Phantom of Haddonfield, steps into the clearing. The eerie silence is a familiar canvas to him, one he has painted with terror time and again. But tonight, the canvas bears another artist's mark. Neither words nor gestures are exchanged, for none are needed. Each recognizes the other not just as a fellow harbinger of death, but as a threat to their dark legacies. This abandoned place, rich with the residue of past horrors, cannot hold them both. In the realms of shadows they have each claimed as their own, a territorial instinct as primal as their thirst for vengeance sparks the air. What follows is inevitable, a clash not just of flesh and blood, but of mythic horrors, each vying for supremacy. As the Ferris wheel groans a foreboding dirge, they advance, driven by forces as old and as relentless as their cursed existences. The battle for the dominion of dread begins now. Under the ghostly glow of the Halloween moon, the Whispering Pines bear silent witness to a clash of nightmares. The Ferris wheel, a rusting giant of a bygone era, stands in the forefront of the battleground for two titans of terror. Jason Voorhees, the relentless revenant of Crystal Lake, arms himself with the wreckage of the park. Each piece of metal, a testament to his brutal strength and unyielding resolve to dominate this night of horrors. Michael Myers, the shadow of Haddonfield, finds his weapon in the decay of festivities past. The sharpened wood, as silent and deadly as his approach, readies to counter the iron will of his foe. Here, amidst the ruins of laughter and screams, the initial clash unfolds. Metal clashes against wood, sparks of ancient anger igniting the night air. Each strike, each parry, is a dance of death long rehearsed in the solitude of their cursed existences. As the Ferris wheel looms overhead, a silent arbiter, the fight escalates. This is no mere skirmish but a declaration of war, a battle for supremacy in a world that has long abandoned them to their darkness. Michael, realizing his strength is outmatched, decides to create space. Jason, a specter of the forested depths of Crystal Lake, moves with a hunter's grace through the darkened groves of whispering pines. His familiarity with the cloak of night makes him a formidable pursuer, his every step calculated and silent. Michael Myers, ever the predator of the silent night, turns the forgotten games of the park into instruments of ambush. With a craftsman's care, he rigs a shooting gallery so that it springs to life with a loud clatter when triggered, a distraction meant to disorient and mislead. But Jason is no stranger to deception. His instincts, honed over countless nights of survival, guide him past the pitfalls laid by his foe. Yet, every shadow might conceal a deadly surprise, every corner a sudden end. As Jason advances, Michael orchestrates a dance of shadows and light. The park, a maze of his making, becomes a stage for a deadly game of cat and mouse, each participant both hunter and hunted. In this game of deadly pursuit, each warrior uses his darkest skills to outmaneuver the other. Jason's relentless advance meets Michael's cunning traps, a battle of wills as much as of strength. With the haunted house drawing near, the chase intensifies. Here, in the shadow of specters and spirits, the true ambush awaits, promising an encounter that will shatter the stillness of the night. As the duel draws them ever nearer to the haunted house, the remnants of terror that linger in its halls beckon them forward. Here, the battle finds new life among the echoes of screams long silenced. Jason, ever the force of relentless fury, uses the haunted house itself as a weapon. Walls that once trembled with the fears of the living now bear witness to a new horror as Michael Myers is thrown against them, the very structure groaning under the weight of their conflict. Michael, not one to be outdone, turns the tides with cunning brutality. His hands, skilled in the art of murder, find their mark as he thrusts Jason into the exposed wires. Sparks fly, lighting up the night with their deadly dance. In this realm of forgotten fears, every element of the park becomes a tool for destruction. The haunted house, with its sinister aura, serves as more than just a backdrop, it's a participant in their deadly game, its every nook a potential arsenal. As the night deepens, so does their resolve. The haunted house, a maze of horrors both real and imagined, now hosts a confrontation that could only exist in the darkest of nightmares. Here, in the heart of fear itself, they prepare to escalate their battle, each moment building towards a climax that promises to be as terrifying as the legends that led them here. Deep within the haunted house, the battle reaches a fever pitch. The grim decor of this cursed place mirrors the dark souls of the combatants, each element intensifying the already palpable sense of dread. In a gruesome ballet, Jason wields the bones of faux corpses as weapons, his strikes heavy and relentless. The haunted house, a repository of terror, lends its eerie tools to this dance of death. Michael, ever the architect of chaos, uses the house's own structure against his foe. Walls that once stood as mere backdrops to fabricated frights now crumble under the reality of their struggle. As the haunted house groans and creaks around them, it becomes clear that this setting is more than just a stage for their conflict, it is a participant, its every shadow and shattered piece a testament to their enduring malice. Here, amidst the relics of simulated horror, the true essence of their supernatural resilience shines through. With every thrown prop and collapsed wall, they echo the unyielding spirits that have long defined them. The confines of the haunted house funnel the titans of terror into its heart, the maintenance room, where the air is thick with the oil and rust of long-forgotten machinery. Here, the final act of their nocturnal symphony is set to unfold. Jason finds a heavy metal chain. He grasps the significance of his find. The heavy chain, a relic of the park's operational past, now serves a new purpose, a means to an end in this relentless duel. Michael Myers, the embodiment of calculated evil, finds himself cornered yet unyielding. The limited space challenges his usual strategy of stealth and evasion, forcing him into a direct confrontation. Jason's brute strength comes to the fore as he battles to subdue Michael, the chain binding not just the flesh but the fate of his adversary. Each pull, each twist of the chain tightens the hold, a physical and symbolic ensnaring of the horror that is Michael Myers. In a room that echoes with the clang of metal and the hiss of steam, Jason Voorhees asserts his dominance. He tightens the chain around Michael, securing him in the maintenance room. Michael, trapped by the very strength he once wielded so freely, now finds himself confined within a prison of iron and despair. As the echo of the chain fades into the shadows, the battle reaches its zenith. Jason, having turned the tides with cunning and force, leaves his foe restrained in the bowels of the haunted house. In the aftermath of their brutal encounter, the haunted house stands as a silent witness to the fury unleashed within its walls. Jason, his mission momentarily fulfilled, prepares to exit this theater of horror. As Jason walks by an old electrical panel, he casually smashes it, sparks fly, catching on dry, duster drapes, and a small fire begins to spread. With every step, Jason leaves behind the echoes of the battle, the sound of his footsteps mingling with the crackling of the fire he has set. It's a fire born from destruction, a cleansing flame that seeks to erase the traces of their nocturnal dance. Michael Myers, ensnared and left in the shadows of his temporary prison, tests the strength of his bonds. The fire's glow casts a sinister light on his masked face, reflecting the undying malice that burns within. The roar of the flames grows, a chorus rising with Michael's relentless attempts to free himself. The battle may have ended, but the war, the eternal struggle between these icons of terror, is far from over. As the night yields to the dawn, the haunted house burns in a fiery blaze. Sirens are heard in the distance. As firefighters quell the fire, they begin their investigation. We hear one firefighter say to another,
"No bodies found. The place was completely empty. Thank God."
For in the world of nightmares, no evil is ever truly contained, and no legend ever dies completely. But why did the AI choose Jason as the winner? In the realm of digital deities, where silicon minds simulate the impossible, our AI has delved deep into the lore and capabilities of Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers. Thousands of scenarios were computed, each exploring different outcomes based on the unique characteristics and weaknesses of these legendary adversaries. In this spectral analysis, the AI discovered that the environment often tipped the scales in these hypothetical clashes. The haunted house, with its confined spaces and myriad hazards, emerged as a decisive element in their duel. Particularly interesting was the factor of water. Our simulations revealed that in scenarios involving water, Jason's known Achilles heel, Michael would invariably gain the upper hand, exploiting Jason's deep-seated fears rooted in his tragic drowning at Crystal Lake. However, absent water, the setting of the haunted house, its narrow corridors and the presence of heavy equipment, played to Jason's strengths. His ability to use his environment creatively, coupled with his brute strength, allowed him to gain the upper hand in most simulations. After running thousands of simulations, the AI concluded that while neither combatant could ever be truly defeated, given their supernatural resilience, the specifics of the haunted house environment would most likely lead to Jason trapping Michael, albeit temporarily. Thus, the AI determined the outcome, not as a definitive end, but as a momentary victory in an eternal conflict. For in the world of these immortal horrors, every ending is merely the prelude to another dark beginning. As the embers of battle fade within the haunted corridors of Whispering Pines, we reflect on a confrontation that has left the very fabric of night tremulous. Today's face-off between Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, Titans of Terror, proved once more that in the realm of nightmares, there are no true victors, only survivors. Now, we turn to you, our viewers. Dive into the comments below and let us know which icons you'd like to see clash in our next installment. Your favorite nightmare might just be the next to grace the battleground of Scripted by Machines. Thank you for joining us in this journey through the shadows. Remember, in the world of Scripted by Machines, every story is a gateway to a new enigma. Keep watching, keep wondering, and above all, keep the lights on. Until next time.